Igbo garden where we're gonna plant yam, plant all the trees, all the leaves you can get in Igbo land. Okwa, ube, akubeke, mtorokba, oha, Koji. We're gonna also plant yam there. We'll plant ube there. We'll plant all these things so that at the time of New Year Festival of Igbo, we'll go to the Mbala there. We'll go to the garden there to get our New Year Festival. Being there, you see that yes, that the Igbo tradition is really representing here.
There is something fundamentally wrong with some people who migrate to settle in foreign countries, but for some reason, they carry along the vilest, unscrupulous attitudes like their handbags. This attitude, for some reason, from over 192 countries in the world, can be found mainly in Nigerians, as if it is their exclusive rights. And before anyone gets offended about any generalizations here, it may be right for those people, be them in the majority or minority, to advise their rotten criminal lord to stop disgracing the whole nation with their dubious acts. So what happened again? Hello and welcome again to the Global Cultural Drift Podcast. Geopolitical Queen here with today's episode on one Nigerian trader known as Jude Ihenetu, who is claiming to be an Igbo king in Ghana when he has no bloodline to any royal house. So, who is this Jude Ihenetu who is claiming to be an Igbo king in Ghana? Well, Mr. Ihenetu arrived in Ghana somewhere in 1995, where he was selling calculators to market women in Accra, the capital city of Ghana. As he would say himself, by God's special grace, he upgraded himself from selling calculators to become a trader in auto spare parts and got himself a stall at the marketplace. From there on, he married a Ghanaian woman in 1998 to secure his residence permit. Being the pioneer in the Accra markets, he became the speaker and community leader of the Nigerian market community in Accra. With this position, he started his agenda. He went to the Ga paramount chief of Accra to pay homage to the elders and to introduce himself to the elders of the land as the community leader of the Nigerian traders in Ghana. The traditional council members welcomed him, blessed him as one of their sons, and promised to come to his assistance anytime he needed their help. But Ihenetu had other ideas. His plan was not to be a son of the elders, but to compete and overtake the elders by creating his imaginary Igbo kingdom in hindsight of the Ga leaders. So Ihenetu started creating something he would come to introduce to people as his palace. He said he was a king and started to behave comically. He created a seal for his clown palace documentation, designed some calabash which he would wear as a crown, wore some long gowns and rags like an Indian magician, with some heavy beads around his neck. He gave himself several titles, as in His Royal Majesty, Dr. Ihenetu, Ambassador, Indimbo, Eze, His Highness, to mention a few. His next profession thereon was to start taking pictures with most politicians, be them in power or in opposition, to give him some bragging rights that he is very influential and has contacts with all the elites of the country. As if the circus was not enough, he started conferring titles on personalities and installing some of his fellow traders in other districts in Accra as sub-chiefs who responded to him. He started paying off bloggers and journalists to all start singing praises to him, reporting all sorts of ludicrous projects that never existed to make him feel better, perhaps. For the Ga Traditional Council and most Ghanaians, this was just some cultural circus from a settler who is feeling homesick and wants to remember home. So there was no cause for alarm. But then, this Ihenetu man would take things to the next level to rub it into the faces of the citizens who gave him a place called home. Ihenetu grew horns and decided to create his imaginary kingdom. He announced to his Igbo people in Nigeria that he had purchased 50 acres of land in Ghana on which he would be building his imaginary kingdom. There would be a huge palace built on this land with schools to teach only Igbo children, hotels, etc. Any Igbo man interested in buying land to build his dream house would be allocated some plots of land to do so. The streets in this kingdom will be named after his Igbo heroes. You just take a listen to this guy.
Apart from in Virginia, they have Igbo village in Virginia. They created it by putting the antiques, the antiquities of Igbo there. You can come there, kind of archive of Igbo. But I'm creating Igbo village, which has never happened in the history of the world among the Igbos in the world. As I'm talking to you, I've acquired 50 acres of land, that is 250 plus of land, along the Flower Road, that is at Old Ningo area. But along that road, it's right on the road, I acquired 250 plus of land. My reason of acquiring this land is to build Igbo village in Ghana. I call it Amandi Igbo in Ghana. We'll build a village where we're going to build the palace of Igbo there, a huge palace. We'll build Igbo town hall there with about 2,000 capacity chairs and 100 rooms guest house. The essence of this guest house is most of the times our governors and our Igbo great leaders do come to Ghana. They always go with their entourage. If they come to Ghana, their entourage will see where they will lodge for free of charge, maybe for a day or two. Most of their visits, it doesn't take more than 48 hours or 24 hours. They stay there free of charge, and they know that, yes, this is what they have benefited from the Igbos living in Ghana. Again, our people that have accommodation problem and all that will come there at least for 2 or 3 days before they can get a out of the country, or those that come into the country, in one way or the other, will have accommodation of 100 rooms guest house. We will also, in the palace of the Igbo, we'll also have apartment there for special guests like governors and ministers. And in future, I know that we, the Igbos, will provide president in Nigeria. And I know that the president that will rule Nigeria at time to come must be an Igbo man. And one day, by the special grace of God, he also going to be part of those that are going to lodge at the guest house there in Igbo village. In that Igbo village, my good brother, what I want to do there is we'll create streets there. We'll create streets that will represent the names of the ancient Igbos. We'll create the street that will bear the name of Sam Bakwe Street. That's the ex-governor of Imo State. We'll create a street that will bear the name of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, the first president of Nigeria. We'll create a street that will bear the name of Nzaogo. We'll create a street that will bear, of course, the name of my father also, the man of the Ihenetu. And all the great Igbo leaders that they have gone, and those are present, will create streets in their name that will represent them in Igbo village in Ghana. And this Igbo village in Ghana, every Igbo man all over the world have right to come there and buy property. Either you want a plot of land or 2 plots of land to build your dream house. We're also going to build tall buildings of maybe 6th floor or 7th floor. We'll sell them flat by flat. And we will have a single entrance in this Igbo village. When you come in there, you know you're coming into Igbo village in Ghana. From there, Igbos will expand. We will build market there. Igbo market will represent there. Igbo school will be built there. We will create transport section there also. We will create what we call Ezigbo garden. In Igbo language, you call it Mbala Ezigbo. Ezigbo garden meaning where we create about 4 plots of land. We use 4 plots of land for that, for Ezigbo garden, where we're going to plant yam, plant all the trees, all the leaves you can get in Igbo land. Okwa, ube, akubeke, mtoroba, oha, we're going to also plant yam there. We'll plant ube there. We'll plant all these things so that at the time of New Year Festival of Ezigbo, we'll go to the Mbala there. We'll go to the garden there to get our New Year Festival. Being there, you will see that yes, that the Igbo tradition is really representing here.
Was this ignorance or arrogance or both? Where were all these Igbo strong men when Queen Ya Asantua was fighting the British to gain freedom in the then Gold Coast? And again, where were these Igbo men when Kwame Nkrumah and the Big Six were thrown in jail for fighting for the independence of Ghana? His ignorance in all this is that you can't just purchase a parcel of land from anywhere in Ghana and claim to be a king to build your kingdom on it. This would be like trying to include a new chapter in the Bible or Quran because you think your chapter has to be included. Lands for kingdoms are gotten from conquests. As far as Ghanaians are aware of, there has been no war with Igbos in Ghana in which the Igbos conquered any tribe in Ghana and took their lands. Ghanaian lands were secured for them by their ancestors and are not for grabs by foreigners like Ihenetu. Of all the crimes committed in Ghana by Nigerians for the past 10 to 20 years, ranging from kidnapping, collecting ransom, armed robbery, through rape, pimping teenage prostitutes, to internet, email, and romance scams, the announcement of the creation of a kingdom hit Ghanaians so much that a spontaneous demonstration by the youth was ignited, calling for the deportation of Nigerians from Ghana. A big demonstration has been set for the 19th of July 2025, asking the government of Ghana to deport this man. The Ghana Traditional Council, who felt betrayed by the innuendos of this Ihenetu man, quickly distanced themselves from him and ordered him to cease and desist from calling himself a king whilst living on Accra lands when he's not entitled to any lands in Accra or Ghana for that matter. Ihenetu also came out to claim that he was just a leader of the Igbos in Ghana, a position given to him by the special grace of his God, and that he was only interested in showcasing his Igbo culture to the people of Ghana. This is the typical story of give the guy a finger and he chews your whole arm up. Well, as Cheryl Hughes once said, when people cheat in any arena, they diminish themselves. They threaten their own self-esteem and their relationships with others by undermining the trust they had in their ability to succeed and in their ability to be true. Hopefully, the disgrace and embarrassment will teach this Nigerian settler in Ghana a lesson, and he will learn to be humble going forward. That is, if he's not deported. So here you have it, folks. If you enjoyed listening to the delusions of a self-acclaimed trader to Igbo king in Ghana, then kindly leave your comments in the comment section below, and thanks for tuning in. I will be back with the next broadcast. Good day.